Hello and welcome to Tea is Good, Books Are Better, the podcast where we drink tea and talk about books. I'm Raven.
I'm Jess.
And before we get into it, a quick shout out to our patrons, Jake and Tobias, and once again, Eric. He has joined us again. Thank you, Eric.
Yay!
The first thing I get when I see that he has rejoined is a message from him being like, "Where's the newest mini episode?"
Let me watch.
I was like, Jesus Christ, alright, I'll upload it. So, what are we drinking today, Jess?
I'm drinking green tea that was steeped with a lime mint tea bag too. So it's like a green tea and a lime mint tea mixed together.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah.
How is it?
I haven't even tried it yet.
Oh, well, take a sip.
Ooh. Nicer than just plain green tea.
You're not a big fan of plain green tea. Well, I am drinking a guava passion fruit drink from Starbucks.
You're what?
I'm drinking a guava passion fruit drink from Starbucks.
Yeah. How's that?
Delicious. Yeah. Jake has been getting this new, like, salted vanilla sweet cream thing, cold brew, I think.
Oh.
And the like foam tastes so good. That's all I can really drink without getting a stomachache.
Oh, really?
So I just taste the foam on the top and it's so yummy. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Where did we leave off our characters?
We were
Catelyn, Jaime,
Catelyn,
and
Jaime,
Arya.
and Arya?
Mm-hmm.
Catelyn. So, Robb has married Jane Westerling, destroying their pact with the Freys.
Mm-hmm.
Jaime. Brienne buys 3 horses and they ride south after... What is that inn called? The Inn of the Kneeling Man?
Oh.
After encountering those peeps.
Mm-hmm.
The Brotherhood of Friends, I guess. Arya realizes that they are headed the wrong way and learns that she's being brought to Lord Beric so that he can decide what to do with her.
Oh, damn.
Oh, die.
Alright, so we're starting off with Catelyn. Chapter 20, Catelyn. Cat stands beside Robb's seat in the great hall as the corpses of 2 boys are carried up to them and laid beneath the dais. The dead boys are Tion Frey and Willem Lannister. So, no one that we know.
Mm-hmm.
Great John Umber marches into the hall with prisoners. There are 5 of them, one of which is Rickard Karstark.
Eh?
Eh? Edmure Tully says that they not only murdered the boys, but 2 of his men to get into the boys' tower. Lord Karstark says it wasn't murder. Any man who steps between a father and his vengeance asks for death. What the fuck, dude? Yeah, I don't know if your logic really tracks there.
No,
Bruh.
there is no logic to this.
Cat can't help thinking this is her doing. These boys died so her daughters could live. Robb demands to know how this is vengeance. These boys didn't kill Lord Karstark's sons. Lord Karstark says the Kingslayer cut down his sons, and these boys are his blood. Robb is disgusted. He points out that the boys were children, unarmed, asleep, captives in a cell.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Karstark says Cat killed them just as much as he. Robb is like, no.
Sure. Sure.
This is treason. Karstark asks how it can be treason to kill Lannisters, but not treason to free them. He kind of has a point there. There's more back and forth, with Rickard Karstark belittling Robb every chance he gets, and essentially saying he's a useless king. The Great John gets more and more pissed and even hits Karstark at one point, knocking out his tooth.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, the Blackfish, Sir Brynden, enters the hall, and Robb wants to speak with him in the audience chamber. Robb tells the Great John to keep Lord Karstark here until he returns, and hang the others. One of the captives begs for mercy, saying he didn't hurt anyone. He only stood at the door to watch for guards. Robb asks if he knew what Lord Karstark intended when he was standing watch. The captive says he did, but he took no part in it. He was only the watcher. Robb turns to Lord Umber and tells him to hang this captive last. He was the watcher, so he can watch the others die. Dang! That's hard as fuck!
That is.
When did Robb get so fucking cool? Dang. Cat, Robb, Edmure, and Sir Brynden proceed to the audience chamber. The Blackfish tells them the Karstarks are gone. Robb asks if they will regroup away from Riverrun, but Brynden says no. They've scattered, hunting for Jaime Lannister. Lord Karstark has... Wait, what? Oh. Apparently I was trying to write sworn, but I wrote sword. Lord Karstark has sword to give the hand of his maiden daughter to any man who brings him the head of the Kingslayer.
Yes.
So, he swore to give the hand of his maiden daughter to any man who brings him the head of Jaime Lannister.
Okay.
Cat feels ill. That's nearly 300 riders and twice as many mounts gone. Cat realizes Robb's kingdom is surrounded by enemies to every side but east, where Lysa sits aloof on her mountaintop. Losing the Karstarks is another huge blow.
Yep.
Doesn't seem nearly as bad as losing the Freys, but still significant.
Yup. It's just domino effect.
Yeah.
Losing everyone.
Oh god. Edmure says no word of this must leave Riverrun. The Lannisters pay their debts. Lord Tywin will lose it when he finds out. Cat thinks about Sansa and is terrified of what he will do to her. Robb doesn't intend to lie, but Edmure thinks they should just say nothing. Hold their tongue until the war is done. Brynden points out that the news escaped with the Karstarks already. It's too late.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, fucking idiot. Use your fucking brain, Edmure. Jesus Christ. Got a little ice in my mouth. Robb says he owes the boys' fathers the truth and justice. He must condemn Lord Karstark. Robb is concerned about what the Karstark men who are with Lord Bolton will do when they find out, and he thinks he must warn Lord Bolton. Ooh. So, the 300 riders that they lost were just the Karstarks who were with Robb at the moment.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch more who they're also going to lose, who are in other places.
Yeah, I think so. There's more Karstarks that were with them.
Yikes.
Whoops. Whoopsies. Another boo-boo.
Yeah, fuck. But this one isn't really Robb's fault, is it? Can we trace this back to Robb somehow?
We can trace it back to Catelyn.
Yeah, this is Catelyn's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Brynden reminds Robb that Lord Karstark's heir was at Harrenhal as well, the eldest one who the Lannisters took captive on the Green Fork. Robb says his name is Harrion, and jests that a king had best know the names of his enemies. The Blackfish asks him if he's certain this will make young Karstark his enemy, and Robb says, of course, he's about to kill his father.
Mm-hmm.
Brynden says he could get lucky, there are sons who hate their fathers. Robb replies that even if Harrion hates his father and wants to see him dead, he couldn't openly forgive his father's killer. His own men would turn on him. Then Edmure, who we know is always full of bright ideas, suggests pardoning Lord Karstark. Robb just stares at him. Edmure suggests sparing his life but keeping him in chains.
Think that'll go down, okay?
You think it would? Is that what you're
I
saying?
know. No, it was sarcasm.
Oh. But Kat actually seems to kind of agree with Edmure. She seems
Oh,
to
really?
think that this could be the best course of action.
Just imprisoning him?
Yeah. Edmure says they could tell Harrion that so long as he remains loyal, his father will not be harmed. So that way they can kind of keep the Karstarks, even if it's not like
Mm-hmm.
the way they'd like to keep the Karstarks. But
I
it's
wonder if it would have. It would have
spoilers.
worked.
So it's either that or lose them.
Mm-hmm.
And Edmure thinks that otherwise they have no hope of the Freys either, even if he offered to marry all of Lord Walder's daughters. So Edmure thinks that if they lose the Karstarks, they're 100% going to lose the Freys if they haven't already. Which is.
They haven't already.
If they haven't already. But I don't really understand that logic either. How does
I don't
losing the
either.
Karstarks going to have any effect on what the Freys decide?
Maybe we missed something. Maybe they have a pact. I don't know.
Um, yeah, I'm not sure. But it seems that you were right, that it looks like they offered Edmure in place of Robb, the way they did in the show.
Okay, okay.
But they talk more about that in a bit, I think. Robb says they've heard nothing from Sir Roderick in the north. Wait, is Sir Roderick still alive? I don't remember.
Right. I think I don't remember either. But he did go north. Wait, did he die?
I know he ended up at the gate, and Theon had like his daughter
Mm-hmm.
and was like threatening to hang her or something
Yeah.
if Sir Roderick was gonna charge the gate or whatever.
I wonder if was it Ramsay? Ramsay? Is that his name? I'm having a brain fart
Oh,
at the moment.
you're right. No, Ramsay's army showed up and took out Sir Roderick's little
Yeah.
force.
Okay,
That's
okay.
what
I'm like
happened.
was like trying to remember like what happened again?
I remember Ramsay ending up there, but I didn't
Hmm.
remember how that had affected
Yeah.
Sir
He
Roderick. But
tricked
yeah.
them into opening the gates into thinking that he was fighting for them, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So we know that Sir Roderick is almost 100% dead.
Almost.
I don't know if we actually saw him die, but it's like he's probably
Yeah,
dead.
I don't recall.
Yeah. So Robb says they've heard nothing from Sir Roderick in the north, nothing from Walder Frey to their new offer, which is Edmure instead of Robb, and nothing from the Eyrie. Robb turns to Kat, asking whether Lysa will ever answer him. Kat knows her son wants comfort, hope, but the king needs truth. Kat tells him to expect no help from Lysa. Lysa was never brave. She is hiding from the war, hoping everyone will forget her. Ugh. She's made her way onto my shit list. So annoying.
Yeah.
Robb says the Knights of the Vale could make all the difference in this war, but even if she would just open the Bloody Gate and provide ships to take them north, that would also be really helpful. If they could land at White Harbor, they could flank Moat Cailin and drive the Iron Men from the north in half a year. And he speaks about half a year as if it's like no time at all.
Probably no time at that time.
Oh my god. I guess in medieval war times is like, I guess it takes
Things
years
go
and years.
slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like just
Holy.
traveling from King's Landing to Winterfell, I believe, took months. At least a month. So like traveling around alone with a huge army
True.
takes flipping. That's why they want boats. To
Yeah.
speed this shit up.
Plus they're like literally trapped from all sides, so they can't just march straight up the, what is it? Let me look at the map real quick. So they're at Riverrun. Okay, yeah. So to the south is like the Lannisters and Harrenhal. So they think they still have Harrenhal at this time, right?
Yeah, they do. Well,
They do have Harrenhal.
yeah, Roose Bolton has
Bolton has
Harrenhal.
Harrenhal. Yeah, but we don't know if Bolton's actually like with Robb at this time.
I think at this time we do think that he's with him. Do we?
Well, we know that his son is
We know that his crazy bastard son is off doing shit.
off doing shit, taking Winterfell from Theon. Okay, so yeah, below them is like Harrenhal and Casterly Rock and King's Landing. And then to the east is Lysa and the Eyrie.
Mm-hmm.
To the right. To the west. To the west is not a whole lot. Water and Casterly Rock, I guess.
Yeah.
And then above them is above them is the twins, so above them is the Freys. Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they're kind of fucked from every side.
Yeah, they're trapped.
Yikers. Okay, where was I? Yeah, if they could land at White Harbor, they could flank Moat Cailin and drive the Iron Men from the north in half a year. The Blackfish says it will not happen. Cat is right. Lady Lysa is too fearful to admit an army to the Vale. I had this question, I guess. I guess the Arryns are like on the same level of the Starks as like high houses.
I think so. Maybe.
Because I was like, would the Arryns... They wouldn't be sworn to the Starks. They're not sworn to anyone. Like, it's other houses that are sworn to the Arryns, right?
I think they are, yes. Because they have a whole bunch of knights that are sworn to John or Robert, the kids. Yeah.
Wait, who?
Where's my book? The kid Robert. The
Oh,
boy.
yeah.
The Knights of the Vale. Yeah, I think they own the Vale.
Yeah, so they have
area.
the whole, like, Eyrie, basically.
Yeah, this whole mountainous area.
And it makes sense because, like, the Starks are the wardens to the north, right? And the Arryns have always been the wardens to the east, so it makes sense that they would be on the same kind of level.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, so Robb curses Lysa and Karstark and Theon Greyjoy and Tywin Lannister.
Just everyone.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck
And
you,
fuck you.
and mega fuck you. He wonders why anyone would ever want to be king. When he became king, he swore to be a good king, as honorable as his father, loyal to his friends, and brave when facing his enemies. But now he can't tell one from the other. Now he has to kill his friend for the death of his enemies? It's all so confused. Edmure urges Robb once again to spare Lord Rickard's life. Robb says Lord Rickard will die. Tion and Willem were asleep in their beds when Karstark took their lives. He killed more than a Frey and a Lannister. He killed Robb's honor. Ugh, honor this, honor that.
Yeah, that's going to be your downfall. Kiddo.
Just play the fucking game, please.
Mm-hmm.
For the love of God, Robb.
This is why your father died.
Yeah, like, ugh. God damn it. What's gonna make the Starks learn? At dawn the next day, river lords and Northmen crowd the Godswood. The Great John's men lead Lord Rickard Karstark to a headsman's block at the Heart Tree. Robb takes the poleaxe from the executioner, saying, "He dies at my word, he must die by my hand." Just like his papa.
Yep. He is his father's son.
Oh dear.
Yeah, like him too.
Oh shit.
Trade.
Spoilers. Karstark says that for that he thanks Robb, but for nothing else. So Karstark appreciates that Robb's gonna kill him himself, I guess.
Yes.
Karstark says the blood of the first men flows in his veins as much as Robb's. He was He was... Yep.
Yup.
He was named for Robb's grandfather. He raised his banners against King Aerys for Eddard Stark and against King Joffrey for Robb. He says they are kin, Stark and Karstark. Which I was wondering about, so I'm glad they kind of explain it.
Distant cousins.
Not even that distant. It gets more into it in a second.
Okay, cool.
Robb says that kinship did not stop Lord Rickard from betraying him, and it will not save him now. He tells Karstark to kneel. Cat knows Lord Rickard speaks truly. The Karstarks trace their descent to Carlon Stark, a younger son of Winterfell who had put down a rebel lord 1,000 years ago, and had been granted lands for his valor. The castle he built had been named Carl's Hold, but that soon became Carhold. And over the centuries, the Carhold Starks had become Karstarks. Fun facts.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so they're literally descendants of a Stark. So they are Starks. They just call themselves something different.
Karstark.
Yeah, but they are Starks, technically.
Like old
Speaking.
cousins. They're not as... I guess it's just a family that's separated.
They're still all direct descendants, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Karstark is literally has as much of the blood of the first men as Robb does.
Yeah.
Indeed. Okay. Robb asks for Lord Karstark's final words. Karstark says, "Kill me and be cursed. Robb is no king of his." Oh, shit. Then, Robb chops his head off. When he's done, he flings down the poleaxe. Cat doesn't see Robb at all for the rest of the day. The Blackfish assembles 100 men who ride out after the Karstarks, but no one expects him to bring back many. Cat retreats to her father's solar. Maester Vyman warns her it will not be much longer. His last strength is going. Oh, Maester Vyman is in Riverrun. I keep mixing up the Maesters. I thought when we were watching the first episode of season 2 of Game of Thrones last week with Eric, I thought that the guy with Stannis was Maester Vyman.
Oh, he got the names fixed up?
Yeah.
So, oh, man. I was pretty impressed that you remembered his name.
No, like...
Because I sure did it.
I'm a fucker. Okay. So, yeah. Cat's dad is, almost dead. I feel like he's been almost dead for ages, though. And Maester Vyman says that every time. He's like, oh, it won't be much longer.
The entirety of this book and the last one.
Yeah.
He's been dying.
Mm-hmm. At evenfall, Jane Westerling comes to see Cat. Cat calls her Your Grace, but Jane asks to be called Jane. Cat asks how she can serve her, and Jane admits that Robb is miserable and she doesn't know what to do about it. Jane had told him to use a headsman. It's easier that way. But Cat says that her lord husband taught his sons that killing should never be easy. And Jane is just like, oh. She seems to, like, get it, though. She doesn't question it. It's just, like, it strikes her. I think the truth of it strikes her in that moment.
Yeah.
Jane says Robb hasn't eaten all day and doesn't want to be disturbed, and he won't speak to her. He spends all his time writing letters that he then burns or staring at maps. And he hasn't even changed out of his bloody clothes.
Oh.
Yeah. That's okay.
It's fucking gross.
Yep. But then again, we've never killed a person, so who knows how we would act if we killed a person.
Pretty sure cleaning that shit off of me would be a first.
I guess that makes sense. Hide the evidence. So Jane asks Cat what to do. Cat says that sometimes the best thing to do is nothing. She says when she first came to Winterfell, she was hurt whenever Ned went to the Godswood. Part of his soul was in the heart tree, a part that he would never share with her. Yet without that part, he wouldn't have been Ned. Cat tells Jane she has wed the North, as she did. She tells her to be patient. Robb will come back to her soon enough. She tells Jane the best she can do is to be there when he does. Jane says she will and stands up to return to Robb. Cat thinks of something else when Jane reaches the door. She tells Jane a king must have an heir. Jane admits that they try every day, sometimes twice or more. And she thinks she may have twins, an Eddard and a Brandon. And she promises to be with child soon, then she leaves. Cat turns to her father and says, maybe with time there will even be a Hoster. Cat thinks the girl has a good heart and good hips, which might be even more important.
Yep.
Ooh.
For surviving.
Right, but, like, at the same time, does that mean she expects Robb to be killed?
Maybe. Maybe she's, like, understanding that's a very strong possibility. No. With everyone abandoning ship.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, what other benefits come with Robb having a child?
Having an heir, so that if he is killed, at least he has someone who's next in line. Otherwise, then no Stark holds the North, and they just royally fucked up.
Oh yeah, because Bran and Rickon aren't there anymore.
Yes, they think that they're dead.
Right, and then Sansa is held hostage and Arya's missing, so there's literally no one else. Whoa,
no
you're
one
right.
Else.
Holy.
It's like, hurry up, get knocked out.
Yeah. Twins would be good.
Absolutely. Pump them out.
They only ever think of having boys, of course.
They're the only ones who carry the name.
True. Yeah, so that's the end of that chapter. Next we've got chapter 21 is Jaime.
Alright, Jaime Lannister. Y'all ready?
I'm ready for the Jaime.
For the Jaime.
I'm ready for the Jaime.
So they make their way past Maidenpool, which is a town named after a pool called Maidenpool.
What?
Yeah. This pool is so choked with corpses that Jaime is inspired into song called Six Maids in a Pool.
What the fuck?
Gross. And the water is described as being gray-green with the rot.
Dude,
that is fucked.
That reminds me, you need to watch 1917, man. It's so like
1917?
Yeah. It's a war movie.
What?
World War One. And it's somehow it's so like visceral when it comes to like dead corpses and shit. It's like,
oh
yeah.
That shit is whack.
Yeah. But yeah.
I think I've seen it around, like on a streaming service.
Ooh, yeah, if you see it, put it on. It's really good. And I'm not,
it's just so hard to watch that stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm not into that kind of war stuff, but this one is really good. It's like very it's not about the war as a whole. It's about like two soldiers with one kind of small mission.
Oh, okay.
So it feels a lot more grounded. And it's less about like the tactics of war type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the one that's done in one shot. The whole movie.
Fuck. I forgot about that. Damn, that's cray.
Yeah.
Real cray.
Maybe Jake will let me lend it to you when we return your American Horror Story.
Which one do you have?
You gave me Asylum, but then I realized I already have Asylum. I was like unpacking boxes and then I saw it in there and I was like, oh, I have this.
I forgot that I owned Asylum and I bought a second one.
Oh.
So I have like 2 copies.
Give one as a gift to someone.
Brienne tells him to shut the fuck up. And Sir Cleos also begs him to be quiet. There might be enemies around. Sir Cleos notices that they are taking a less safe route and brings it up with Jaime. But Jaime prefers their route because it's the faster one. And he longs for Cersei. Longs for her. he can't bear to be apart from her for too long.
Jesus Christ.
Even even as kids, they were attached at the hip and they would sleep with their arms wrapped around each other. They used to copy animals mating long before they hit puberty, before they knew what it was. They weren't like, I don't think they were actually having sex, but they were like copying.
Like dry humping.
Yeah.
That sent shudders down my spine.
Yeah. They were caught by their mother's maid once, and she had their mother had moved Jaime's bedroom to the other side of Castle Rock and had posted guards in front of Cersei's chambers.
Oh my god.
And she like warned them to never do it again or she would tell their father. But she ended up dying in childbirth soon after.
Yeah, Tyrion.
Jaime barely remembers his mother. I feel like he was kind of flippant about it. He was like, and then she died. No worries here.
Yeah.
He wasn't as attached to his mother as his sister was.
Was she? I think she just wants a reason to hate Tyrion.
Possibly.
But maybe they were.
Maybe we have to like see from Cersei's point of view to understand.
Yeah.
I wonder if we ever will. Ooh. Jaime thinks about how he should be able to marry Cersei, like the Targaryens used to do. He thinks about how they could just marry Joffrey to Marcella and then show the realm that the Lannisters are above the law, like gods and the Targaryens.
Seems like Jaime... a lot of families actually really respected the Targaryens.
Yeah, but they were rulers, I believe, for so long. And they took it pretty epically. They united all 7 kingdoms.
They were the ones who, like...
epically just took it.
Kinda...
Like, mine now!
Yeah. Didn't they, like, first conquer... No, I don't... I don't remember the backstory. But yeah.
I only remember a tiny bit.
So there's like Jaime here thinking like, oh man.
Just let us be wet. Just let us.
He basically compares Targaryens to gods. He was like Lannisters are above the law, like gods, or Targaryens.
Yeah.
And then I feel like there is another chapter fairly recently where someone like thinks about something the Targaryens used to do and we're like, that was dope. But I don't remember who that was.
Jaime fully plans on returning Sansa to her mother. He finds the prospect of shocking everyone by him keeping his word most amusing. They're making their way through a field when Jaime hears the sound of arrows, and he screams a warning while flattening himself against his horse. Sir Cleos twists off his horse, but his foot gets caught in the stirrup and the horse takes off.
Yikes.
While his head is slamming against the ground.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Brienne is still a horse with 2 arrows in her, but she's too much of a beast to even notice.
Damn! She's fucking stuck like fucking Boromir? / Ned?
Jaime shouts at her where the archers are and charges them. Brienne follows and soon outpaces them, and then the archers run away like he knew they would. They ain't fighters like that. They go looking for Cleos and they find him still attached to his horse but dead. His skull is mush.
Dang, he died so unceremoniously.
Like it happened so fast.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, he's there and then he's gone. But I mean, I guess that's how life is. I mean, I don't know.
It is, basically. That's life. Death comes.
Yeah.
Like a little sneak. Jaime wants his horse and clothes and sword, Sir Cleos says. Since Jaime plans on helping return the Stark girls, he thinks it'll be smarter if they were to travel together without his chains as partners.
Okay, dude.
Faster, smarter. I guess. Brienne does not buy it. She refuses to arm him and calls him an oathbreaker when he offers to swear that he won't hurt her. He starts undoing Cleos' sword belt anyways, and Brienne shouts at him to stop. All of a sudden, Jaime is just over it. He's like, fuck this.
Mm-hmm.
He pulls the sword from the belt and attacks her. And they battle.
Cling, 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 clong, cling.
Jaime loves to fight. It's what he lives for, I guess, other than fucking Cersei. It's when he feels most alive, and Brienne is proving herself a worthy opponent. As they fight, Jaime seems to respect Brienne more and more. They take breathers here and there, where he would praise her skill before they return to fighting. He cannot land a blow on her. He describes it as saying that she has an iron cage around her. He just can't get at her.
Ooh.
At one break, he tells her, not bad. And she's like, for a wench? He's like, no, for a squire. And I'm like, oh, that's like the nicest thing he said to her.
That's a step above wench, I guess.
I think squire is good. It's like a knight in training.
Yeah.
Then she's on the offense. The offense. And he's desperately trying to fight her off. And as he starts to tire, he realizes in horror that she is stronger than him.
Ooh.
And he thinks of the few who are stronger than him, and he is just shook that this is a woman who's physically stronger than him.
Because it's like a handful of people that he thinks of. He thinks
Yeah,
of like
I think...
the Hound and the Mountain.
Yeah, and there can be like a couple other people, like the sword, the Dawn, one of Rhaegar's knights who died.
Oh, like the Morning
and like someone else,
Star guy.
the Morning Dawn, something like that. And then someone else, I forget.
Oh, Robert was one.
Oh, Robert, yeah.
And the White Bull, Gerald Hightower, and Sir Arthur Dane.
Did I get the Dawn guy right, or did I just pull it on my ass?
No, Sir Arthur Dane is that guy. Like the Dawn guy. Great John Umber, Strongbore of Crake Hall, and both Cleganes, and Brienne of Tarth. Awesome.
Sucker. She forces him into a brook and demands that he yield. He falls and attacks one last time, getting her in the thigh before she kicks his sword away and screams at him to yield again. Jaime tackles her and they start fighting with their fists like real men. And then she is on top, holding his head under until he yields. Like, she lets him out, screams, yield, he fights, she holds him back under again. And then they're surrounded by armed men. Jaime realizes that these aren't the people who had attacked them earlier, and recognizes them as the brave companions, aka the Bloody Mummers. We only know from Arya's chapter.
And guess who's with them?
Not Arya.
Not Arya. It's Rorge. Rorge.
Rorge.
Do you remember Rorge?
Rorge.
Rorge. He was one of the three who was chained up with
I only remember Biter and Jack and Hakar. I knew there was a third one, but I forgot.
Yeah, it was Rorge.
What the third one is.
Biter, Jack and Hagar, and Rorge.
Alright. Yeah, Rorge is there.
Rorge is the one who, like, has no nose or something.
Oh. Okay. Other than that, pretty, how do you call it when you forget someone so easily?
Pretty forgettable.
I guess so. Some of the men start urging one of them to rape Brienne right there, but Jaime interjects and asks if they know who he is. They do, and Urswick, the Faithful, is leading them.
He is a knight.
Is he?
Yeah.
I felt like it was kind of like in quotations. The knight. Like he knighted himself.
Oh, maybe he did.
Is he a knight? I have no idea.
I remember calling him Sir Urswick.
Yeah. And then they also called Vargo Sir as well. Lord Vargo? No, they call him sir. They call him Lord. Did they? I'm out of here. I
don't
wrote it
know.
down later on. Yeah, I did. It's Lord. So that's why I'm like, are they just calling themselves that, or were they actually knighted and given lordship?
Huh.
Did Roose Bolton do this as like a reward for helping?
Oh, maybe he did. That sounds familiar.
Uh-huh. Well, we're forgetful. I'm not going back.
Yeah.
Jaime tells Urswick that his father will reward them handsomely for him, and that Brienne is highborn as well and worth a good ransom. And I think he also mentions sapphires in the Sapphire Isles.
Right.
Izzle.
Izzles.
Urswick seems eerily pleased and says that they will bring them to the goat, who is Lord Vargo.
The greatest of all time.
How did he earn the name the goat? I don't know.
Huh?
How did he earn the name the goat?
Because he's the greatest of all time. Goat?
Oh my god.
Dude, that's like a Zoomer thing. There's actually like influencers who like have the word goat like on their merch.
Shut up.
I'm not joking. I'm not kidding.
So dumb.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're all like, "You're the goat, man."
Oh my god, get out of here. Zoomers! What will they come up with next?
Oh, we sound like fucking boomers right now.
Okay. One of the mummers, a Dornish man, tells Jaime that they had sided with the Starks. Jaime insults their honor, and two of them hold his arms as another starts driving his mailed fists into Jaime's tum-tum.
Well, that's because originally the Bloody Mummers were with the Lannisters, but then they started working for Bolton instead.
They just switched teams, which is like that. Brienne tries to tell them that he is her prisoner under Lady Catelyn's orders, but they don't like her interfering and beat her bloody as well. After beating the crap out of the both of them, they tie Jaime and Brienne up back to back on a horse. Jaime feels bad for Brienne because he realizes that she's going to be gang raped that night. He warns her what will happen and advises her to just let it happen because they will hurt her a lot worse if she fights. She asks if that is what he would do if he were a woman, and he says that he would make them kill him if he were a lady.
But he's telling her to just fucking take it?
Just take it. Jaime urges their horse to Urswick and tries to bribe him with gold and promises of knighthood. Wait! So is he a fake knight?
Oh.
I wonder if he just knighted himself.
Oh, maybe.
Like, I don't know.
I do want to
Or maybe he was knighted, but Jaime didn't clue in.
Oh, I have no idea.
Me neither. I'm just as lost.
I have no clue. But I did want to I did want to say real quick that like I feel like I made it sound like just taking it if you're like in a situation of assault is like weak or whatever, but that is not what I think. So I just wanted to make that clear. That sometimes the safest thing you can do for yourself might be not to fight back.
That's true.
So I wanted to make that clear, and I think that everyone should know that.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, he's talking to Urswick, bribing him with golden promises of knighthood, and Urswick lazily slaps Jaime across the face and gallops his horse off ahead. And the realization that he is not afraid of him, that Urswick's not afraid of Jaime, chills him. Like he's like, oh, this is bad. By evening, they find Vargo Hoat, the goat, and another dozen of the brave companions ransacking a small sept. The septon is hung upside down on a tree and was being used as target practice. And there are a couple of arrows in his eyes.
Gone.
Yep. They are brought before Vargo, and Brienne tries to introduce herself and to tell him of Lady Catelyn's orders, but Vargo has no interest in her and orders her silenced. They're cut apart, and Jaime is shoved in front of Vargo. Jaime understands that Vargo is a man of greed and tries to reason with him. He tells him that his father would pay well for him, and Vargo agrees. But first, Vargo wants to send Tywin a message. Jaime's legs are kicked out from under him, and his chained wrists are pulled out in front of him. Jaime watches as a incredibly fat Dothraki pulls out a huge arak and approaches him.
A fat Dothraki?
Yeah, incredibly fat Dothraki.
Weird.
Jaime figures that they're just trying to get him to beg and scream, and he doesn't care to play their game. He's a knight. No sellsword can make him scream. Then the arak comes down faster than the eye can see, and Jaime screams. And that is that chapter.
Oh, shit.
I was like, oh, ready?
Yeah, me too. Already? What? Yep.
Damn.
I noticed that's kind of similar to what happened with Miri Mazder and Dany. At least in the show. Dany was like, "You'll die screaming," and Miri Mazder was like, "You will not hear me scream."
Then we do.
And then we do hear her scream.
Not that I can blame her.
Yeah, she was on fire.
Terrible way to die.
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
Yeah.
That's always been like such a hard question for me to answer. Like, would you rather burn to death or freeze to death?
I can't answer that.
Yeah.
Freeze to death. Usually I hear drowning or burning to death, and that's the one I can't answer. It's like I don't want to do either.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd rather die peacefully in my sleep. How about that?
I'd just rather not think about that. Thank you very much.
True. I'm terrified of death. Anyway, let's not think about that too long.
Same.
Let's not talk about it. So, at the start of this chapter, where it's talking about like the legend with that pool that you were talking about, the pool from which the town took its name, where legends said that Florian the Fool had first glimpsed Jonquil bathing with her sisters.
Oh, that's a thing. The Florian and Jonquil. I remember that all of a sudden.
Yeah, because that's the story that Sansa's always talking about. But in Sansa's version, Florian is a knight who saves Jonquil, who is like a fair maiden. But in Jaime's version of this story, Florian is a fool.
Oh, man. I didn't even catch that.
I'm like, what?
What? Like, there's two different stories?
Or like maybe Sansa misinterpreted the story or something?
Very well be that. Or she like heard softer versions of these stories because she's a kid.
Yeah, like the Brothers Grimm type of thing that we have.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that like jumped out to me right away. I was like, wait, Florian's a fool? He's not a knight?
Uh-oh.
And suddenly, like, Sir Dantos is, he already didn't look good.
Suddenly it's even more creepy.
Uh-huh. It's like watching her bathing with her sisters.
Nine.
I don't like that one bit.
Me either.
Do you have any thoughts about this chapter?
I'm remembering the show version of this part of losing the... Is that spoilers? Do we know what happened?
Let me see if I can remember. I remember... Wasn't Jaime with, like, Bronn or something?
Nope. He was with Brienne.
I don't think I remember then. What happens in the show?
So in an effort to buy Brienne's virtue, I think he was, like, offering, again, gold and knighthood to... I don't know if this was someone playing Vargo or whatever. They had, like, a whole different characters for the mummers. I don't think they even had the mummers. They just had a group of Stark men or Bolton men who were like running around killing things and people.
Interesting.
And I feel like the leader was just playing with him and trying to like, how do I? God, I'm so bad at English. Even though it's my only language. Baited Jaime into like accepting things from them, like accepting a hot meal and having his chains removed and like sitting by the fire, only to instead like remove his. So it kind of was like Jaime being like cocky and really self-assured, only to have his being taken as a punishment.
Okay, but
for being cocky.
But the situation is essentially the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gotcha. Guess that's that. We're at an hour already.
Shit. So now you're gonna get to Arya.
We're not gonna get to Arya, no way.
Yeah. What the hell are we talking about for so long? We're just talking about chapters.
Guess, yeah.
Are these really fat fuck chapters? I thought they were pretty thin compared to that one.
I think we're just doing a lot of speculating.
Sure.
Yeah. Which is cool. I like to see whether we end up being right or wrong.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but any updates?
Maybe. Let's have to think about it. Do you have any updates? Miss? Miss ma'am?
Not really. I mean, it was, the weekend was so nice, like the weather.
Ugh.
It was
Burn.
wonderful. Me too!
Right? I missed the sun so much. I was so excited last weekend when I saw, like, I was like, oh, it's gonna be 23 degrees. Nope, it's 26.
Yeah.
Great. I was so happy.
Jake and I, yesterday, Sunday, we washed the cars. We washed his car, and then my car, and then Mom's car. So that's when I must have gotten burned.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then his family came over in the backyard. Which is allowed here in BC, just so people know. They
hang out in the yard.
We hung out in the backyard, and we had some drinks and just visited, and it was really nice. And then after that, we walked down to the like mini golf place at the end of the street, and we played some mini golf, and then we walked back home. And it was like a really nice, fun day, and it was so beautiful out. It felt like summer already.
Yeah, man, it's probably gonna be really hot this summer.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a fucking scorcher.
No, forest fires.
Oh no.
Droughts.
Good luck, California.
Yeah.
We laugh, but
we get
for
fires
real.
too.
We get fires too, but like not on the same level.
No. Crystal fights fire.
What does?
Every summer. Chris. Our cousin.
Does he actually?
Yeah. I think it's good money.
Dang.
So, like, think of him and your thoughts.
Yeah.
During forest fires, like, keep an eye out for Chris.
Yeah. Keep him in our thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. What were you doing outside that got you burned? Just like walking, or?
Yeah, definitely. And I love going for walks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love being out where the trees are, all the wildlife. My gosh. The other day, I was walking to, this is totally random. I was walking to work, and I hear some crows above me making weird sounds. Like purring crow sounds. It was weird. I look up, and just right above me is this bald eagle flying past with like two crows like biting at its tail.
Whoa.
Like, chased it off. It was so close to me too.
That's so cool.
I was like, yeah, I love it here.
Yeah. That's neat.
It is neato. I've never got a good look at an eagle before like that.
Yeah,
So,
they're usually like
crows were
so high.
small. The crows are so small next to
Yeah,
it.
but they're like they have gangs and they're
Yeah,
so
they're like,
smart.
get out of here. Just like a second later, the eagle was like far away with the crows chasing them off.
A crow can outsmart an eagle any day.
Hell yeah. I see the way one of them looks at me. It's like the same one. It's always looking at me when I walk by.
Ooh, make
There's
friends with
something
it.
in between its eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make
I
friends.
want to get food. Like, please honor me with gifts.
Because it'll go back and tell its homies. It'll be like, yo, this chick's cool.
Hell yeah.
And
It's
then they'll like protect you and like they'll hang out with you.
look out for me. Oh my gosh. It's like a lifelong dream. I really like crows.
Do it, man. Make friends.
I just love crows. There's definitely something going on there. There's some thought.
Oh yeah. For sure.
For sure.
I remember the first time someone asked me what I wanted to be when I was older. I said I wanted to be a crow. That is what I said.
For real?
Yes.
Dang.
No joke.
Why would you downgrade from a raven to a crow?
I don't. Well, there's like a million crows when where we lived when we were growing up, and not a ton of ravens. So I don't know if I even knew a raven was a bird at that point.
Yeah, it probably took you a while.
Yeah.
I think I've only ever seen a raven in the wild twice. A whopping 2 times in my 30.
Yeah, they're
I
not.
don't really see those guys.
They're not super common, I don't think. But also, I'm like, how interchangeable are they with crows? Like, if you look at pictures, they do look different, but I don't know what it would look like if you see like one right next to the other.
So it looks like a big crow. You're like, what is that big guy doing there? And you're like, oh, that's not a crow.
And I think like crows have beaks that go more outward, and then ravens are a little more curved.
I don't think I've ever been that close to a raven, but I just am able to tell because of how big it is compared to how crows are usually. Crows are fairly small birdies, but a raven, it's a big crow.
A crow's wingspan is about 0.75 meters, and a
Whatever that
raven's
means.
is about 1.5. You don't know how long a meter is?
I mean, I have a rough estimate in my brain.
Okay, well, let's do meters to feet then.
How we do like
Meters
how
to
tall are they when they stand? Height.
Okay, so a crow's wingspan is about 2.5 feet. A raven's is about 5 feet.
That's bigger than I am. I'm 4'11".
But again, they all come in like different sizes, so.
Yeah, that's definitely big.
They are. I guess if you're
Trying to
just
figure, like,
looking
how
at
tall
them,
it is, 'cause it's so obvious when it's standing there. It's like that's a big fucking crow.
I guess if you see them, yeah, like right next to each other.
Or just by itself. Like when I saw the raven by itself, it was fairly obvious that that's a fucking huge crow.
It's like double the size of a crow.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds
like. You're like, why is this guy so big?
That's a fat
raven.
Crow. Like, yeah, that's probably
That's
not a crow.
a raven. And it's exciting. You're like, oh, today is gonna be my lucky day.
Oh, let me
And
send you
buy
this
a lotto.
picture. Yeah, I've seen ravens so happy. This is what I mean by the beak. I'm sending you a picture.
Okay.
The raven has like a curve on the top of its beak, and then the crow's is much more straight.
Ah. Oh yeah, its beak definitely looks like just bigger. Like,
Yeah.
there's like a little bump at the top as well.
Yeah, like it looks like someone with like a crooked nose type of thing versus a straight nose.
Yeah. The crow is so cute next to it. And it's just pictures of their faces. I can't even see the size difference, but the crow is so cute. It's like a little baby. It's a baby. I should buy nuts and just keep it in my pockets at all times. Throw them at crows.
Yeah, man. Fucking
That'll
do
be
it,
cool.
dude.
I can do it now. I live around a bunch. Crows. There's no seagulls around, so I don't like worry about those sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Fuck seagulls.
Fuck seagulls. Have you been watching, or I don't know if you watch TikTok, but there's this guy who's like slowly making friends with a seagull.
That's great.
Yeah.
But why? They're fucking hate.
I guess because it would just like sit on the roof of his building or something, so he just started feeding it. Yeah. And now it like comes to his window every day.
That's pretty cute though.
And now he's trying to get it to come inside his room.
Of his house or his job?
It's his house, I think.
Okay. Gross. Don't let that in your room.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like the second I saw he was trying to bring it in, I was like, stop. Why are you doing that?
Dude. Gross.
I guess he's
You
trying
don't know
to
what
just
to carry.
True. But I guess he's just trying to keep escalating, like you gotta keep
trying.
trying.
He's getting views.
Exactly. Gotta keep going, man.
Gotta do it for the views.
Yeah. So if you start making friends with a crow, film that shit.
Ooh. That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we should end that one here. Thank you so much for listening. If you want more of the podcast, please follow us on Instagram. You can follow the podcast at Tigbab Podcast, or you can follow us separately. My handle is Crimby, Jess's is just.egan24. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search Tigbab Podcast or Tea is Good, Books Are Better, and we should show up there. Also, please subscribe to our good friend Baram Barami on YouTube. He's the one who made our jingle, which you heard at the start of this episode, and he's a really cool guy and makes dope stuff, so check him out. And you can also join our Patreon, patreon.com/Tea is Good, Books Are Better. We have a few different tea-themed tiers with fun rewards, such as behind-the-scenes content, outtakes, and mini-episodes in which we force our brother to watch Game of Thrones, which he hates. So you will be getting something in return for your contribution, and you'd also be helping us improve the podcast with better equipment, but we also just appreciate you listening. And please don't forget to share the podcast with your family and your friends. It is the best way for us to grow.
Yep. Oh my god, the other day I was listening to a podcast and someone said something like that, like, you want to listen to something more podcast, and I was expecting that instead they're like messing off their shit, and I'm like, oh man.
I've trained your ear.
Yeah.
But like our listeners have no idea what you're talking about because I always cut out the blah and fill it in with our pre-recorded end speech.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you think I'm really saying blah and just leaving that in the podcast?
Yep. No. I just don't think about it.
Yeah, I guess not. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you for listening. We'll see you in the next one. Ta-ta!
Ta-ta! Toodaloo!